Welcome to Inside City Hall, Blazing Trails with Madison Fire and Rescue, the podcast where we dive deep into the collaborative efforts shaping the future of fire safety in our city. In this episode, we sit down with Acting Fire Chief Brandy Williams to discuss how Madison Fire and Rescue is leading the way with the City of Madison's readiness as well as the community's preparedness. From understanding risks to developing plans to strengthening partnerships and promoting awareness, Madison Fire and Rescue is consistently creating new initiatives aimed at enhancing community safety and emergency response capabilities. Let's get started. I'm Deidre Briscoe.
And I'm Samantha Magnuson.
I'm Brandy Williams.
Thank you for joining us. You guys are so involved in the Madison community, doing a lot day to day. So we'll kick it off. Deidre, you've got first question.
Yes, I'm so excited you're here as well. How does the fire department currently engage with the community outside of emergency response? And can you share some recent community outreach and how it's impacted local safety?
Madison Fire is out in the community all of the time, whether it be for formal events or informal events. Some formal events would be something like the Street Festival, the 4th of July fireworks events, any other organized events that people contact us wanting us to come out and show the kids the trucks. Informal events is when we go to the grocery store or a restaurant and kids are out there looking at the truck and eyeballing the truck and we bring them in and show them the truck and have a little small fire safety talk. So those are some of the informal events. Now that we have the new community center here in the city of Madison, we've taken the opportunity to go and teach the seniors that attend the community center some fire safety classes. So some of the things that we talk about is just general fire safety with them, fire extinguishers, CPR, preventing falls, and then smoke alarms. Making sure that they check their smoke alarms on a regular basis and, you know, what the chirping sound means. And then James Clemens has a health class that they teach, and we are in that health class teaching certain topics along the same lines, fire extinguishers, smoke alarms, CPR, and general fire safety. We do that about once a semester with James Clemens when they change classes. And then at the events, we take the opportunity to take the inflatable safe house out that we have where the kids can see what that looks like, smoky environments. And then we put out regular messages on Facebook regarding general fire safety information. We do car seat inspections at the fire department. So somebody can come by and we will help them install the car seat to the best of their ability. Education is the main goal there, because if something happens to their car and they have an accident or need to have their car repaired, then they have to come back to us if we've not educated them how to put the car seat in. And then a lot of times it's a lot like medical calls. We don't know what the impact of fire safety makes in the community. Every now and then you'll hear a story or two, you know, on calls, but it's like EMS calls. Sometimes we just don't know the outcome of what happened to the patient once we transport them to the hospital. So fire safety is a lot like that, and it's really hard to measure the outcome and the impact that it has on the community.
Even though it's hard to get those metrics, I think, though, everything you do, whether it's training or making sure that our team is ready to respond, it's landed us with that ISO 1 rating. Can you talk a bit about what that means to our community, how it reflects to our homeowners and residents, but then also what goes into getting that high ranking?
So yeah, the ISO 1 allows you to pay the lowest possible insurance that you can for the city of Madison. And then what that looks like for us is a lot of hard work and dedication that goes into preparing for ISO. So they look at response times, they look at the number of apparatus you have, they look at the number of people that you have, and it's all fire related. None of it has anything to do with EMS. So ISO is purely about fire response. So they look at the equipment, they look at just many different things. And another piece of that is community risk reduction piece. They look at what policies do you have, what fire safety education are you providing, and one policy in general that they want to see is a juvenile fire setter policy, because, you know, many communities are not immune to juvenile fire setters. They get intrigued by fire and bad things happen.
When we talk about how the equipment and the training and all that we do is evaluated by the ISO in order to get that high rating, just highlight us on what exactly you do when working with law enforcement and other agencies for emergency response, things like that that support, where we are and how safe this community is.
We work with law enforcement on things like active shooter events, so preparing for that if that was to ever happen to our community. We train with them and we integrate with them in an active shooter event where our personnel go into a warm zone, and then that would be locating victims and initial quick triage. So our guys are equipped and prepared and trained to enter that warm zone with law enforcement if that was to happen. Um, Another piece is we work with them on UAS, which is the drone program. We help them with training. We do some co-training there. That way we could use the drones for something as a missing person, child, anything. Um,
Well, and training is such an integral part of what you guys do because you don't know what call you're going to get on a random day. And so training really gives you all the tools that you need. Talk a bit about our new training center and the public safety annex office that's coming around. If people haven't heard about that, give them a little bit of background.
Yeah, we're excited to get a public safety training center coming hopefully in June. So just a couple months away. So we worked with the police department to identify their training needs. That way we could integrate that into our training needs in the training center. So not only are we going to be able to train on about anything that you could think of at our training center, PD is also going to be able to do the same thing. It could be, we could have joint active shooter drills. They could clear buildings, clear rooms. Their SWAT team can use it. So they're going to have a wide array of things that they could use the building for.
How long have you been a firefighter and what inspired you to get into this career field?
I've been with Madison Fire for 27 years. Um, when I was getting ready to graduate high school, I decided that college really wasn't for me. So I went to college. Back then it was quarters, so I went to college for a quarter and verified that college was not for me. So I wanted to do something that provided a sense of service and accomplishment, something that I could feel good about at the end of the day. And I grew up going to the fire station as a young child. My uncle was a Huntsville firefighter, so I grew up visiting him at the fire station. And so the fire station was not something that was foreign to me, so I decided to give that a try and see if that was checking the boxes that I wanted it to check. So I became a volunteer firefighter in my community straight out of high school just to make sure that it was something that I wanted to do before I went all in on it. And I fell in love with it. So here we are about 28, 29 years later. I'm still doing it.
What did your family say?
My mother was less than happy. She did not want me going down a path that would put me in danger. So she was not very happy about it. My dad was completely fine with it. My mother eventually came around. She still worries to this day though. But she got better with it. And then my brother, he was real young when I started the journey. But today he's super supportive and super proud.
Well, we were talking before recording this about your niece, and talk about if she wanted to get involved in the fire service. What would your opinion be? And also, speaking from a woman in a profession that is such a male-dominated profession, what would you tell her if she grew into this career field too?
I would be completely supportive if she decided that's what she wanted to do. I think it's important for her to see that it is possible in a male-dominating environment. I would provide her, all the support and direction that I possibly could to help her navigate that if that's what she chose to do.
Keeping children in mind, talk a little bit about how the department works with the local schools and that constant education of fire safety for the youngest of our community.
Yeah, we've been engaged with Madison City Schools for several years now, trying to figure out a solid program to provide the most education for the kids. Many years ago, we took a look at what we were doing there was one day that I went to one of the elementary schools, and we had the safe house there, and one of the kids kind of made a comment about, "Oh man, the safe house again," and it just kind of made me really think we're not really providing the best education to the kids that we could. And if somebody's not excited about seeing the safe house and getting out of school for that matter, to see the safe house, they're not really going to hear the message that we're trying to give them. So we sat down and we analyzed what we were doing and tried to come up with different ways and different approaches based on the education levels of the kids. So kindergarten through second grade, we decided that it was appropriate for the safe house type program. So we still do the safe house with those kids. And then the third grade program, we decided that we needed to take that one up a notch and let them talk and implement a little bit more about what they learned K through 2 with the safe house. So we have different fire safety messages for the third grade kids that we go over. And the whole point is not only to educate them, but it's for them to take the information home and educate their parents and share it with their parents. That way they can develop their escape plan and their meeting place all together as a family. That way the whole family is on the same page.
The fire department is such a critical component of our community. Thank you for what you do every day. And that takes us to our community corner.
All right, guys. Well, the Trash Panda season 2025 has started. Thank goodness that interchange is open and ready for all that traffic. And speaking on fire service, you guys work closely with them for different events that they do. So, it is really that community effort. But if you haven't been to a game, get your tickets, bring the family out. They have different themed nights. It's quite an experience. Speaking of some other events happening soon, there is an Easter egg hunt historic downtown Madison, April 19th at 10. That's being put on by the Shops of Madison. So get out, shop local, and our historic downtown is really quaint. It's a sweet experience. So take the family out there. The Madison City Farmers Market is also open for business for the 2025 season. That's happening Saturdays at Trinity Baptist Church on Hughes. And then also just as far as community resources, we want to make sure that we engage with our community and that it's an open door policy with transparency. So check out madisonal.gov. You can access any agendas and minutes. You can report a concern. That's really our window to the world and reaching our community. So if you have any questions, if you need to get in contact with us, madisonal.gov is your hub of all the information. So thank you, guys.
Before we go, I just wanted to double back and make sure that we talk a little bit about local initiatives and how we pursue them. Did you want to add anything in about some of the things that we are currently working on?
So we have recently developed a door hanger that has some general fire safety information on it. It just gives some of the fire safety basics, and then there's a QR code that you can scan and go to another survey and additional information. And what we plan on doing with the door hanger as of now is when we have a structure fire in neighborhoods or communities, we're going to go out and canvass that neighborhood and put these door hangers out within about an eighth of a mile radius. So that's the intent as of now. So that may evolve into something different as we move forward with seeing what works and what doesn't. So if you get one of those door hangers, please check out the QR code and make sure that you view the fire safety information.
Great. Well, thank you for being with us. I think it's such vital information for our community to hear, and just thank you for your service.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
The point of this podcast is to make sure that we hear from our departments, what they do and how they service the community. If you have any suggestions or if there is a department you'd like to hear from, contact us at communications@madisonal.gov. Thank you, guys.